I've never had the best luck with setting up desktop PCs. In fact, the one I own right now is a ThinkCentre all-in-one PC. And even though, since it's an all-in-one PC, all the hard work had been done for me, I still had a lot of trouble setting it up. You see, my desk is kind of small, so with the kickstand fully extended, my desktop takes up all the real estate on my desk, leaving no room for notes, pencils, microphone, let alone a keyboard and mouse.
I eventually got it to fit on my desk, don't ask how, as well as my previously mentioned mouse and keyboard. Now, because my keyboard is crammed on my desk, I have to sit very close to the screen, which makes it difficult to see. If only I could sit on the edge of my bed and use the computer as if it were some sort of gaming console.
I never thought wireless keyboards had a purpose until now.
I mean, seriously, think about it. Why would someone purchase a wireless keyboard? Is there some kind of preference for having a keyboard on your lap? There probably is a reason for these to exist because, well, they do in fact exist. So someone had to have thought they were a good idea.
And they still exist. So someone must be buying them. Like me? I bought this wireless keyboard from my local computer store out of sheer curiosity. I didn't need it, but it looked interesting, and I've never seen anything like it before.
This is the Inland wireless keyboard, and if this keyboard looks familiar to you, you aren't mistaken. Inland is definitely not the first company to make this keyboard. Just do an internet search for wireless keyboard with trackball, and you will find dozens of keyboards that look exactly the same. I mean, seriously, just look at them. The same colors, same everything. All made by different companies. Also, if you watch the show Burke and Son, you would know that Son's keyboard looks just like this one.
The first thing I noticed when I was unboxing this keyboard is that there's these triggers on each of the corners that act as mouse buttons, kind of like a video game controller. So you hold it like this, and when you hold it like this, your thumb rests right over the WSAD keys, which are common for character movement. So it only makes sense that you hold the keyboard like this. Well, let me tell you right now that this keyboard is not meant for gaming.
The keys are not what you'd expect on a traditional keyboard. They are shaped in the most basic way. Flat rectangles with no roundedness whatsoever. That makes it very difficult to slide your thumb from one key to another. So what even is the point of making the keyboard like this? Your left thumb will fit perfectly over the trackball mouse, which further invites you to hold the keyboard in this position. Even for non-gaming, this position makes it very uncomfortable to type and use the mouse simultaneously.
Okay, that position obviously doesn't work, so let's just use it like a regular keyboard.
How am I supposed to use this mouse? What was the intended way of using this mouse? The keyboard features additional left and right mouse buttons on the front, but they are positioned in such an odd way I can't even figure out the correct way of pressing them.
If I can't use the built-in mouse, I'm not even gonna try to use it. I'm just gonna use this external mouse.
Alright, let's move on to the keyboard part. The keys are very tiny, as you would expect, but it isn't tiny in a good way. You see, I'm always overreaching and pressing the keys I never meant to press on this keyboard. A good candidate for this would probably be the control button. I am always pressing the function button when I meant to press the control button. The placement is just so off. And don't even get me started with the tab button. Look how thin it is! Who thought this was a good idea? The disproportionality of all the keys on this keyboard remind me of some sort of map projection. The keys in the center are to scale, but it gets distorted around the edges, just like the poles on the Mercator projection.
This keyboard also has additional buttons around the top and the sides that do specific things on Windows computers, like do the volume, mute, open up media player, forwards, backwards, home, close, all those goodies. And I like that. That's really neat. I like when computers add volume controls and such to their keyboards. But that's really the only good thing I have to say about this thing.
Also, I would like to talk about the fact that many of the keys are in the wrong place. The control and function keys should be swapped. The tilde key is down here for some reason. The brackets, right shift, comma, period, plus, minus, and the list goes on. In fact, there are a lot of keys missing on this keyboard. And I'm not just talking about the number pad, because that is surprisingly not missing on this keyboard. Seriously. The number pad, as well as all the other missing keys, you have access to by holding down function and pressing the corresponding key in the same way you hold down shift and press one of the number keys to get access to more symbols. This is really weird and hard to get used to.
I don't see myself using this whole cheat code thing just to get the number pad when there's already numbers right here that I could just press. What's the point? What even is this keyboard? I do have some good things to say about this keyboard, surprisingly. If you're making some sort of Raspberry Pi do-it-yourself computer thing that needed a really small keyboard, this is the one. It's perfect. It's got the mouse built in, and since it's a Raspberry Pi, all this weirdness, like the code thing and the weird mouse and the buttons, doesn't matter. Because that's the point. It's gonna be weird. It's a do-it-yourself thing. That's the whole point of making stuff. But I can't excuse the fact that they messed up the placement of all these buttons. Like, was it too hard to put the control key where it's supposed to go? You know, I don't see that. And couldn't they have just made the keyboard just a little bit longer so that way they could have put the shift key in the right spot? And it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Inland wireless keyboard. If you do see this in the store, don't pick it up. Unless you can make some really cool Raspberry Pi DIY computer wooden frame thing, then I would recommend picking it up, because that's where this thing shines. And with that, I bid you adieu.